the Pelicans have agreed to finally trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers. Now, here's the compensation package. Everybody's wondering, what would they give up? Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. Remember, Ingram has the blood clots in his arm, so that's an issue. Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks, including the number 4 overall pick in the 2019 draft, which will air this Thursday on ESPN. That league sources tell ESPN. We've got the NBA's best insider with us. He's going to help break this down for us. It's Adrian Wojnarowski. He joins us tonight here on SportsCenter. Woj, I just gave the details of the deal. This is Tony Collins and Zubin Mehenti. What else can you add?
Zubin, Tony, this is a monster haul for the New Orleans Pelicans to get 2 starters, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, an outstanding young player, and Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks, including the number 4 overall pick in Thursday's draft, which allows New Orleans not only to draft Zion Williamson at 1, but at number 4, get another, potential very good young player. But for the Lakers, they paid a steep price to get the player they had to get, Anthony Davis. Now Davis and LeBron James partner up in the West. Suddenly, the Lakers are a legitimate contender. They were able to keep Kyle Kuzma. This is everything LA had to do this summer. They had to get Anthony Davis. They weren't at the top of any big free agents list, but this certainly changes the dynamic of that Laker organization, changes the narrative. They've got Anthony Davis, who has said all along he plans to sign a long-term extension with the Lakers next summer when he can become a free agent.
This is very interesting. Tony and I have so many questions for you, and obviously we're going to continue to hit you with them here until 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's become the biggest story, obviously, in the sports world right now. David Griffin is now the executive vice president of the New Orleans Pelicans, had a good relationship with LeBron from his days when he ran the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do you sense in any way the insistence that the fired Dell Demps wouldn't make this move with the Lakers, but the relationship that Griffin might have with the Lakers, Rich Paul, LeBron, in any way, did that allow this deal to get done more quickly?
Absolutely not, Zubin. I think David Griffin was trying to make the best deal he could for the Pelicans. I think his focus was maximizing the assets that they get in return, and LA was the place that they could maximize it because Davis had made it clear that's where he would resign. There were other teams interested, but the Lakers went to such lengths. There has not been a deal for a single player in this league as steep of a price as LA's paid, perhaps since the Carmelo Anthony deal that Masai Ujiri made with the Knicks in Denver a decade ago. There hasn't been a team that has had to give up more for a pick. So while Anthony Davis does go from New Orleans to L.A., they paid a price, and they're going to be certainly limited roster-wise with those draft picks. They lose, the core, very good young core there. But this is a deal L.A. had to make, and they paid a steep price for it.
Well, you keep mentioning how much of a monster deal this has been, and this is. When did this all pick up steam?
They've been talking, Tony, over the last several days. I think talks picked up as we headed into the weekend, Thursday, Friday. New Orleans had wanted to get this deal done by the weekend ahead of Thursday's NBA draft. Now they've got that 4th overall pick. They've got to decide who they want to select with it. And remember, too, this deal cannot be finalized until July 1, but they will be picking on Thursday with that number 4 pick. And now the the Pelicans have some time between now and then to identify who they would like to take there, but also, they could be in the marketplace to shop that pick. There are other teams who might want to move up. So this gives the Pelicans a lot of options here between now and the draft.
Woj, I wanted to ask you about one person conspicuously not in this deal, and this was a guy maybe only second to Anthony Davis in this deal that was talked about more than anybody else as the Pelicans and the Lakers tried to make something happen, and that is Kyle Kuzma. Again, it's Ball, Ingram, Hart, and a trio of first-round picks. Kyle Kuzma not being included in this deal tells you what from the Lakers' vantage point?
Well, they had to give up in other areas, giving up the 3 firsts, giving up Josh Hart as part of the deal, who's an outstanding rotation player. for the Lakers. And Kyle Kuzma is a very good young player, but without him in this deal, it is still substantial to New Orleans. And certainly Kuzma now will partner with James and Davis. He'll be a key part of that Laker team, but it gives a lot of flexibility financially in New Orleans. They're going to be able to. They have cap space this summer. They can go out and add to this core. They believe Zion Williamson's going to be everything that people think he's going to be, a legitimate franchise player. And the reshaping of that New Orleans franchise just sped up by, number one, the fact that they won the lottery, but two, how much they got in this deal. But for the Lakers, they wanted to hold on to Kyle Kuzma. That was important to them. They did, and certainly he's a player that can help them win now, but they gave up plenty else.